Well, morning, folks, and welcome to the briefing on Saturday, the 3rd of April. And if you look out the window, you think, I've seen this picture before. It looks exactly the same as yesterday, but some subtle differences today. And those that flew yesterday, so it's actually a very, very good day. The chart looks very, very similar, but there's a little bit more curvature just up here, and it's bringing in the winds just a little bit more from the north, and you'll see that in a second. There's still reasonable spacing on the isobars, so similar sort of wind strengths to yesterday, maybe a fraction lighter at flying heights, but not much. And if you play through the next 24, 48 hours, you can see the high pressure starts to disintegrate. And this is the one to keep an eye on, this stuff up here. We've sort of got a northwesterly flow here for tomorrow, and then on Monday that lot comes rushing through, and the air mass is coming right the way from way past Iceland. It's going to be bitterly cold. Interesting forecast, looking at the charts, potential high cloud base, but also lots of snow showers, all sorts going on. So very, very interesting scene on Monday. Winds today, upper winds. This was sort of about 050 yesterday out to the east of us. And now they're talking about 02020, 04015, and a bit more easterly in the channel. So yeah, a little bit more northerly and similar sort of wind strengths, or maybe a fraction lighter today than yesterday. And on the ground, you can take your choice between the Farnborough TAF, which says 03010 knots, 10k vis and broken at 2,500 feet, which it said 040 yesterday, and Gatwick's 03012 knots, so definitely a little bit more northerly. Scattered at 2.5, I think it's going to be a bit more than that today. Yeah, and that looks very similar to yesterday as well, this sort of sheet of cloud that built up overnight. Broke up a little bit quicker yesterday than I thought. Certainly by 10 o'clock, you could see it was breaking up and turning into cloud streets, and I think the same will be happening today, maybe a fraction later than 10 o'clock. But it'll break up, and certainly by mid-morning, I think we'll see proper cumulus, and maybe a little bit more cumulus than we saw yesterday. Temperature-wise, that's mid-afternoon, similar sort of picture to yesterday, 11, 12 degrees. Won't feel like that on the ground. It felt bitter out of the launch point yesterday because of the wind chill, but it's gone up reasonably well from the overnight temperature. Sounding, again, very, very similar to yesterday. The one at 9 o'clock yesterday showed these two lines a little bit further apart and breaking up. This sort of signifies that there's just cloud stuck in there under that inversion at about 2,000, 2,500 feet. And as you go through the day, the lines come apart, so cloud breaks up. This inversion here rises, so that says over 3,000 feet. By 1 o'clock, 3,500 feet, and by the afternoon, could well see 4,000 feet. Cloud base, 1 to 3/8 cumulus in places. Wind stays fairly constant all the way through, northeasterly, showing there 15 to 20 knots up at flying heights. And Top Meteo, as you would expect, is taking the data from the same place, is showing exactly the same thing. That's 10 o'clock. We're tucked under here, clouds starting to break up. By 12, you've got cumulus, and I would think cloud base will be 2,500 to 3,000 feet by 12, and then getting better as the afternoon goes on. So more cumulus than we saw yesterday. Should be a pretty reasonable day and good for the South Downs. I was a little bit sceptical yesterday, thinking it might have a little bit too much easterly in it for the Downs, but they seem to work quite well. little bit more northerly today, so they should work very well. So that ends the weather briefing. Good day. Going to be bumpy behind the trees on takeoff, so hence we're going to operate again on the runway. There's no jet movements that I know of today, so we should be on the runway all day. Just tow out when you want to go and fly. If you want to dump your glider on the runway because you're not sure, that's fine. I'll be out there all day. Airspace wise, locally, well, not a lot's changed really, apart from Southampton. We're in the Saturday and Sunday bracket here, so the Class D airspace is deactivated. If you want to go soaring over Southampton today, go for it. This is the temporary danger areas that are all associated with the southeast coast here over Dover, and they're only up to 1,200 feet, where they've got drones flying around. Salisbury danger areas are still active, but it just says here that Salisbury ops are closed, so you'd have to contact London Information to find out what's actually going on in the danger areas. But apart from that, you can see the rest of the country, no real airspace to worry about. Operationally, as I said, we're on 09, no jet movements, a bit bumpy behind the trees. Folks, get out there and enjoy the day and stay safe. Right, see you out on the runway.